Guys, it's getting tense in the political atmosphere in Britain just a few days after Starmer stepped out to Brazil. Lee Anderson, the Reform UK MP, has completely destroyed Starmer and the Labour Party on live TV.
We're not shocked though, are we, Martin? Again, another sex monster prowling our streets, released early. They keep saying by accident. It's incompetence. I mean, what are they doing with these prisoners, Martin, when they're giving them a set of keys?
Keir Starmer left the keys to the kingdom with David Lammy for 5 minutes. And what happened? The whole thing goes up in flames. We've just witnessed what has to be one of the most car crash performances at Prime Minister's questions in living memory. Lammy was all over the place, getting slapped down left, right, and centre. But hold on, because it gets so much worse. You know that story about the migrant prisoner who was accidentally let go? Then we heard it was actually 2 prisoners. Well, grab your popcorn, because they've just confirmed a third one has been mistakenly released.
Tonight, police are also searching for a third mistaken release, William Smith, a fraud convict and British national. As the various manhunts continue, the government looks a little imprisoned itself in this saga.
A hat trick of incompetence. You genuinely couldn't make this stuff up. And just when you think Labour might try to sweep it under the carpet, who steps up to the plate? None other than the man himself, Lee Anderson. He didn't just take them to task, he absolutely wiped the floor with them on live TV. And we're about to get right into that glorious takedown. But first, you know the drill. Do us a favour, hit that like button and hit subscribe so you don't miss a moment of this unfolding shambles. Earlier, we said that the police had launched a manhunt for an Algerian guy that was mistakenly released. Well, again, police launched a second manhunt after a convicted fraudster was accidentally released on the same day as he was sentenced. And another breaking news just now, that a third manhunt has been launched by the police for another criminal.
Let this mugshot provide the answer David Lammy wouldn't. This is Brahim Kadour Sharif, not an asylum seeker to be precise, but an Algerian migrant arrested and convicted of trespass with intent to steal last year, and before that of indecent exposure. On the 29th of October, days after Kabatu, he was indeed mistakenly released from Wandsworth prison, where he'd just begun the deportation process. Tonight, police are also searching for a third mistaken release, William Smith, a fraud convict and British national. As the various manhunts continue, the government looks a little imprisoned itself in this saga.
Robert Jenrick, the Shadow Justice Secretary, has accused David Lammy, though, of covering up the accidental release of the Algerian sex attacker from HMP Wandsworth. Mr. Jenrick penned a letter to the Justice Secretary demanding answers to 7 key questions.
The Deputy Prime Minister gave disgraceful answers. He, in my view, was dishonest with Parliament and with the country.
5 times today, the Deputy Prime Minister and Justice Secretary was asked about the possibility.
Can he reassure the House that since Kabatu was released, no other asylum-seeking offender has been accidentally let out of prison? It's a very specific question for him to answer.
Deputy Prime Minister.
After his release, I put in place the toughest checks we've ever had in the prison system.
Last night, speaking anonymously to protect his daughter, the father of the girl sexually assaulted by Hadesh Kabatu told me he'd received no contact from David Lammy.
There's been no justice served. It's just such a shame that we've been treated the way we have, and we've had no help, no nothing.
Watching the interview last night, I have to say it was absolutely heartbreaking. And I have to say, Mr. Speaker, I do think he owes it to offer an apology here on the floor of the House.
Deputy Prime Minister.
I'm surprised the Honourable Gentleman didn't hear me when I said that of course I apologise and I'm sorry for the anxiety caused.
The girl's father told us that response is too little, too late. We've only received this apology because we've called them out on TV.
Now, the Reform MP Lee Anderson has totally destroyed Starmer and Labour on this issue on live TV, and it's worth watching.
We're not shocked though, are we, Martin? Again, another sex monster prowling our streets, released early. They keep saying by accident. It's incompetence. I mean, what are they doing with these prisoners, Martin, when they're giving them a set of keys? I mean, they're just walking out the jail. I mean, back in the day, you used to dig a tunnel to get out of prison. or try and break out. Nowadays, it appears you just walk up to reception or a prison guard and then you're on your bike, you're gone. And like Ola just said, we're turning into a country now where it's not safe to walk our streets. And this country should never be like that. But when you see the incompetence, not just in the prison service, but at the highest level in government as well. We saw David Lammy today at the dispatch box. He was asked 6 times by James Cartledge, has anybody been released by accident over the past week or so? He refused to answer. Now, I thought James was a little bit weak at PMQs. The first question was great. The second question, he should have knocked him out with the second question and said, are you aware there is a prisoner now on the loose? Then he's got him, and then he's got to start answering questions. He squirmed, did Lammy, but he got off the hook. Yeah. And the only thing that James did right at the end of PMQs is raise a point of order. He read off his phone, I think it was a Telegraph article or Sky News, that actually we had got this sex monster on the loose somewhere in London.
Lee, in the time it took you to walk over here, we've heard more information. That is, we had confirmation, the Times reported this, and we've had it confirmed by Catherine Fawcett, our political correspondent, that David Lammy not only knew about this before PMQs, he had a pre-prepared statement ready to go. He chose not to put that out. But you're exactly right. If he'd been asked the correct question, yes or no, has a second foreign national been released from prison, he would have had to have said yes, otherwise he'd been lying under parliamentary oath, right?
Yeah, it was incredibly weak from the Tory frontbench today. They could have nailed him on the second question, and all James did was keep asking the same question. We're sat there on the back benches actually pulling our hair out saying, why does he keep asking the same question? What does he know? Has it happened? And yes, he knew it had happened. Lammy knew it had happened. So on the second question, he should have gone for the throat. And you know what? Lammy would have been embarrassed. And like you say, he would have to either admit it or deny it. And if he denied it, then he's lying in Parliament.
Once more, for the avoidance of doubts, because he didn't answer it twice. He's here to answer questions. Can he reassure the House that since Kabatu was released, no other asylum-seeking offender has been accidentally let out of prison? It's a clear question. Can he give an answer?
Deputy Prime Minister.
Get a grip, man. I know I'm the Justice Secretary. That's why I'm at the dispatch box, also as Deputy Prime Minister. We know that. I'm not going to pray in aid. Dame Anne Owens is a former Deputy Commissioner in London, head of the NCA. It is for her to get to the bottom of that work. Of course, we know that there have been spikes since 2021 under his watch. When did he come to this House and apologise?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The purpose of government is to take...
I want to hear both. Quiet. James Carter.
Mr. Speaker, it's getting noisier now, so just in case he didn't hear me. He's the Justice Secretary. Can he reassure the House that since...
Order.